Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today, I'm going to explain the movie called Percy Jackson and the Olympians the Lightning Thief. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. The scene opens at the top of the Empire State Building. Zeus confronts Poseidon, accusing Percy Jackson, Poseidon's demigod son, of stealing Zeus's master lightning bolt. Poseidon prompted his brother that his son is unaware of his true identity, but Zeus isn't satisfied. He announces that, if the bolt isn't returned to Mount Olympus before the Summer Solstice, war will break out between all the gods. We're introduced to 16-year-old Percy Jackson calmly sitting at the bottom of their school's swimming pool. When he returns to the surface, his best friend Grover tells him that he was in there for nearly 7 minutes, which was almost impossible for most people. We see the two in the Yancy Academy, and we notice Grover is on crutches. They walk through the corridors, appalled, as numerous kids brawl openly in the halls before faculty intervenes. In class, their substitute teacher was asking the class if anyone could explain the quote written on the blackboard. Everybody raised their hands, except for Percy, who was avoiding eye contact. He was called on and tried to read the quote only for it to flip and move around. He decided to say that he doesn't know the answer to move on. Percy returns home and greets his mother, Sally. When she asks about school, he is visibly upset. Percy has dyslexia and ADHD, which affect his academic performance. Yancy Academy, he thought, was going to make things better. Sally tries to reassure him that everything will make sense one day, but he remains skeptical. The door opens and Gabe Ugliano, Sally's husband, and Percy's stepfather walk in. He's shown as a lazy and disgusting person who's dirty and jobless. Percy and his class go on a trip to a museum to look at a gallery of ancient Greek and Roman exhibits. Percy looks at the statues with writings in the Greek alphabet written on them, and to his surprise, he could understand them. Mr. Brunner was lecturing on them. Mr. Brunner uses a motorized wheelchair to move around, his feet covered in a blanket. He explains how gods like to come to Earth and have love affairs and children with immortals. Mrs. Dodds asks if she can speak to Percy alone. She enters behind Percy through a door into an unfinished room. When he turns back, she's standing on a scaffolding. She starts to confront him, and when he can't answer her questions, she transforms into a hideous, winged beast. It swoops Percy up into the air, threatening him and saying that he needs to return the lightning bolt. Mr. Brunner and Grover burst into the room, and the creature turns to face Mr. Brunner, who demands that it free Percy or he would tear it apart. Percy is dropped by the winged creature, who crashes through the window and flees. Mr. Brunner gives Percy a pen that he claims is a powerful weapon and tells Grover to take Percy and his mother Sally to Camp Half-Blood on Long Island, which is a secret summer camp for demigod children. The Minotaur attacks them there, presumably killing Percy's mother. Mr. Brunner's pen turns out to be a magical sword, which Percy uses to defeat the Minotaur, slaying it with its own horn. Percy falls to the ground, passed out from exhaustion. Percy discovers he is the son of Poseidon, Grover is a satyr and Percy's protector, and Mr. Brunner is Chiron, a centaur, when he wakes up 3 days later. Percy begins training in his demigod abilities and meets other demigods such as Annabeth Chase, Athena's daughter, and Luke Castellan, Hermes' son. Percy is visited by Hades' apparition, telling him that the Minotaur kidnapped Sally and took her to the underworld in exchange for the lightning bolt. Percy sets out for the underworld with Grover and Annabeth against Chiron's orders. Luke provides Percy a map that shows where 3 green pearls belonging to Hades' wife, Persephone, may be found, allowing them to leave the underworld. Percy is also handed Luke's favorite shield and a pair of flying winged shoes stolen from Hermes. Percy decapitates Medusa and removes the first pearl from her corpse at a garden center in New Jersey with the help of Grover and Annabeth. Percy uses the shoes to remove the second pearl from the crown of the statue of Athena in the Parthenon in Nashville, and Grover kills a hydra with Medusa's head. The trio arrives at the Lotus Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas to get the third pearl, but after eating lotus flowers, they forget their objective. Eating lotus flowers will cut you off from the rest of the world and lose track of time, a reference to the lotus eaters. Percy breaks free from the lotus flowers enchantment after hearing his father, Poseidon, instruct him not to consume any more flowers through telepathy. Grover and Annabeth are free of the flowers' effects after Percy frees them. They find the final pearl in the casino and flee the hotel. Because they've been at the casino for 5 days, Annabeth realizes they only have 1 day to prevent the gods' war. Percy, Grover, and Annabeth enter the portal to the underworld with all 3 pearls. Hades discovers the lightning bolt buried inside Luke's shield in the underworld, proving that Luke was the thief all along. In retribution for imprisoning Persephone, Hades tries to kill the trio, but Persephone turns on him and gives the bolt to Percy. Grover stays behind because they only have 3 pearls. The 3 teleport to the Empire State Building, Mount Olympus's entryway. However, Luke ambushes them before they can enter, revealing that he stole the bolt that will demolish Mount Olympus and declare the demigods as the new rulers of Western civilization. Percy appears to kill Luke, returns the lightning bolt to Zeus, and reconciles with his father after a battle throughout Manhattan. The trio reunites and trains together,